back to Funtastic Friday here on News Talk 93 FM. Yeah, man, you don't know the flex already, people. Big up to everybody who got it locked in right here inside Funtastic Fridays on News Talk 93 FM. I want to say congratulations to Irving Hall, winner of our Rivals Battle for today. They walk away with a movie pass for 2 to Carib 5. Congrats. And a good fight put in by Taylor Hall. Yes, people, right about now, you know it's the time of day where we jump into our segment titled Talk the Ting with Kim. I fill in for Kim, and Boss Lady Bree, and Lady Adenike, who's celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday, Adenike, or as they say, Nike, or Ade, or Adenike. Well, you know the mix of it. Happy birthday to you. Her birthday today, April 11. She has the what? 411? Yeah. All right, people, so big up to everybody that's got it locked into Funtastic Friday here on News Talk 93 FM. And we're going to be jumping into our discussion segment. So feel free to join in on the discussion, people. Don't just be quiet. Share in your points for our topic for today. Today, we'll be looking at the topic, what is the biggest hurdle for relationships in 2025? What is the biggest hurdle for relationships in 2025? What would you say are your answers for the biggest hurdle? Let us know. Drop your answers in the comments below. Let us get your feedback on that one. All right, so we'll be looking at our topic, what is the biggest hurdle for relationships in 2025? Now, let's have a look at reason, people. These days, making a relationship work can feel a lot harder than it used to. I know sure love is still important, but there are more things getting in the way now than what we had in the past. All who can agree, just let me know. Yeah? A lot of things happening more now than before. It wasn't this complicated back in the day. It was pretty much straightforward. You like who you like, you know, date, you know, married, and gone, and live a happy life. That is it. It wasn't as complicated or fast-paced as it is nowadays. All right? So, people now, they are juggling their careers. There's a lot more, as I said, that's here now that wasn't there before. There's social media. And, you know, people are juggling their careers, their personal goals, mental health, and all of that while trying to stay connected to someone else. So as I said, it wasn't this crazy back then because probably, you know, the men used to work and the ladies were at home. So there was no competition in the workplace. There was no battle. You had your time, you know, spent together. Yeah, it's a lot easier. But now, everyone is out there working, who is not pressed for time, they're pressed for money, and we're looking at several different issues that are affecting relationships these days. Now, on top of all those issues that were mentioned, things like miscommunication, fear of commitment, or even unrealistic expectation can make it tough to build something strong and lasting. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the biggest hurdles that couples are facing in relationships today. And if you can agree, let us know. Drop your comments. If you disagree, say, listen, me, them things don't bother me, you know. So you can let us know. All right, so people, we're going to be looking at 10 of the biggest hurdles couples face in relationships nowadays. All right, let's go. All right, so one of the biggest hurdles that couples are facing nowadays, and this actually has been going on for quite some time, but nowadays it's much more highlighted because of all the technologies we have, right? Poor communication is one of the biggest hurdles. I would put this, we're gonna go to, well, we're not gonna put it in any particular order, but number one on the list because of its impact on relationships is poor communication. Is a very big point of issue faced by relationships today. Watch, right? Texting and social media have made communication a bit easier, but it's not necessarily better. Misunderstandings happen often, and many avoid deeper conversations altogether. So because of the texting lifestyle that most persons have these days, you realize sometimes the conversations don't go as long. They're not as deep because, I mean, you can be fair. Not everybody has the time or energy to type out a long paragraph. While it's a bit simpler nowadays than writing, I sometimes think I'll be more better writing a paragraph than typing it out. I don't know. It just seems long on the phone. And when you look on paper, it's probably about 4 or 5 lines, you know? So that affects how people communicate. Also, the misunderstandings are happening more often. Somebody sends a message, a smiley emoji. The other person say, well, why you send me smiley for? You know, that I diss me. It's so complicated nowadays. You know, you're sending an emoji. Yo, why you send me that emoji? I don't like that emoji. I mean, it's, you know, it's a thumbs up. It's a peace sign. So people have so many different cues from social media and communicating via messaging. And, you know, it's so hard to communicate these days. And poor communication is one of the hurdles that persons have to jump over to ensure that they have a long and lasting relationship. So, number 1 on my list for hurdles that we face in relationships for 2025 is poor communication. If you agree, let me know what your views are. If you disagree, let me know what your views are. But I say poor communication is a big deal, but it's a big hurdle affecting relationships. Now, number 2 on the list for the top 10 things that are affecting relationships. This one is a big one, and we look at trust issues. Trust issues is a major hurdle when it comes to getting your relationship to last. Now, with the constant interaction of multiple persons, especially when you have easy access to online options and easier access to other people, insecurity and jealousy can creep in very quickly. And some of these things have been brought on from past relationships. So even as the relationship just getting started, they are having trust issues with you. And you know already, people, once someone has trust issues, the relationship will not be comfortable. Everything is brought up in a question. You know, where were you yesterday? Where are you now? Where are you going to be tomorrow? How long are you going to be there? When you go? It can be tiring. It can be overbearing. So, trust issues is number 2 on our list when we consider the top 10 hurdles that relationships are faced with in 2025. Unbeatable champion. I see you. Chevy drums with the fire emojis. Yeah, man, check in. Everybody check in. Now, we're talking about the 10 biggest hurdles that couples may face nowadays in their relationships. We started off with poor communication. The second thing on our list were trust issues. And now we're looking at number 3, which will be unrealistic expectations. People, this one hot. This one is big. This one is taken over the place by storm, and it's crazy. Unrealistic expectations. You know why? Tell me why. Social media can paint a picture-perfect version of relationships, making real-life ones feel like they are falling short or they're failing. So once you see somebody on social media living this happy-go-lucky life, no arguments every day, they look like they're going out, they're skipping to the beach, they're diving on the sand, they're at hotel this week, resort next week, vacate the other week, and it looks all glitz and glamorous. Social media can paint an unrealistic reality. So, persons are looking at social media and saying, my life should be like that, why don't I have that kind of a life? But some of the time it's unrealistic, it's not real. It's not what we see it as. Sometimes the so-called trip, them dead in the backyard, them post up on a background. There's actually a place or several places where you have an airplane where you can go ahead and take pictures in to make it seem like you're on a flight. You have people want to travel but have picture in an airplane. And here you are thinking, oh my gosh, this person flying back and forth every day. They're not gone away. Them still at them house. or them just gone next door to the photo booth. All right. So social media creates a big impression on people, causing them to have unrealistic expectations. You just meet the person. Oh my, this person needs to fly me out to another country. Just meet you and I don't even know if I like you yet. Oh, I need to take you to this place and that place. Let me get your name first. Let me find out what you like before we reach a different country and different places. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Social media creates unrealistic expectations. You see the birthday photos, you see the person have 17 different bags on the bed with them. Don't mind that. If they are having it for real, good luck to them. But sometimes it's not real. So you and your pocket have to go and bounce where your pocket there. Because you see these person posing up with all these gifts, you think, say, okay, they have millions of people buying them gifts. That might not be the case. So instead of trying to follow up with social media, what I want you to focus on is ensure that you're having true and meaningful connections with people. Not just look to people for gear things because you want to keep up with social media. So if we could break down that unrealistic expectation, then we have a smoother journey when you're talking about relationship. So number 3 on our list of hurdles in relationships nowadays is unrealistic expectation. Number 4. This one is a big one that has been trending for quite some time, and I think currently it seems a bit exaggerated. Nowadays it seems so easy to happen, and that is commitment phobia. Number 4, commitment phobia. Now, what are we talking about? Issues such as FOMO, or as we mentioned it, fear of missing out. Also having an endless, what seems like an endless list of options thanks to many dating apps and other platforms. Also, past trauma can make commitment feel like a trap instead of a choice. So, people develop a commitment phobia once they are faced with all these options available. And that is a big hurdle to cross. Because imagine you trying to start a relationship, but this person still on, what the app's name? Still on Tinder, still on Bumble, still on Facebook, Instagram, still on Tango. You guys remember Tango? Is that still existing? Still on Badoo, still on Tagged, still on High Five. But yet still they're saying they want to start a relationship with you, but they're still weighing their options elsewhere. So they don't have the desire to commit because they're, playing the field. So nowadays it's a bit hard for you to get the commitment out of someone. They have hidden numbers stored in phone, all these things happening. And all they have to do is focus on one partner. But guess what? A lot of followers on Instagram, a lot of this, a lot of that. They get caught up in the hype and develop commitment phobia. So they're not ready to settle down. And the question is, will they ever be ready? All right. So number 5 on our list of hurdles that couples face in 2025 is a lack of emotional availability. All right, this one ties into commitment phobia that was just said earlier. But when we talk about lack of emotional availability, many people struggle to be vulnerable or to even express simple emotions. Now, this makes it hard to build deep and meaningful connections. I find a lot of persons have been hurt. A lot of persons have had bad experiences before, and they are reluctant to open up in a way for your partner to get to know you the right way. Yeah, they struggle to be vulnerable. Either because they have been living on social media, so everything is like a screen to them. So once you are outside of the screen, they don't know how to communicate, they don't know how to express themselves. It's all about, let me message you, let me send you a message, a DM. So, that emotional connection isn't there. Or maybe they have been struggling with the issue in the past, and you know they have carried it into this new relationship. So if you are able to jump over the hurdle of emotional availability or the lack of emotional availability, then I assure you that your relationship will be a lot smoother. However, that's one of the problems that we face these days. All right, now point number 6. So we looked at 1. Number 1 already, you know, it's always the key to most relationship issues. Number 1, poor communication. That's one of the biggest hurdles people face in their relationships today. And as I said, even though we have all these access to apps and programs and devices, poor communication is still a burden. All right? Still a hurdle. Trust issues. So many options are out there. This person has so many hidden lives, and this person can't trust because the phone on silent, the phone turned upside down, why the phone not ring when people are all these different issues. Trust issues make it a lot harder for your relationship to be successful, and that's one of the hurdles that we have to face. Number 3, unrealistic expectations. Social media gives you that highlight and everything looks good on the reels and everything looks good on the, you know, profile pic, and it looks like this person is living that fabulous life, but it's not all that true sometimes. For the number of persons who are posting that kind of thing, yeah, it's not everybody. So you know that if you're trying to live up to that life, ensure that you are not losing yourself or throwing your savings away just to keep up with social media. All right? So, number 3, unrealistic expectations. Number 4, commitment phobia. That's where you fear missing out, so you don't want to settle down one place. You want to be here with this person, but you want to be over there with the other person. And if you get a new person here, so a new person come in the mix, you want to be with them. It's like you can't settle anywhere. You're just caught up in the endless options. You're on this app, you're on that app. You're talking to 5 different people on 5 different apps. I don't think that's a healthy way to get along. So that's another issue that people are facing in relationship these days. Number 5, we looked at lack of emotional availability, and I found that to be true these days, where you have persons out there saying they want a relationship, but the actions not matching up. The actions are not matching up. They want a relationship, but guess what? They're not showing that emotional availability. They're not showing you what you call returning the energy. It's basically a one-sided relationship. All right? So let me get you to think on these things. I'm going to give you a minute or two to drop your questions or suggestions. We're going to go to point number 6 in a few, but let's check out this in a few. Yes, thank you very much for sticking with us, people, as we are looking at what is the biggest hurdle for relationships in 2025. What's happening in relationships? So we looked at 5 points so far. We're going to look at number 6 right about now. And then we're going to go ahead and head to the break. All right, as I said, be sure to share, be free to share your views, share your points, share your examples, as we know that these are the issues that are affecting relationships. We're going to have a follow-up topic at the end of the month where we get some persons in studios to get their view on each one of these topics. And we're going to get some examples as well and get some feedback as to how you can overcome these hurdles. So we're not only going to point out the problem, we're going to find ways to fix it. All right? So, number 6 on our list, and this one is actually affecting more people than we know, because right now, you know, things are hard, times are hard. So, number 6, in the top 10 hurdles that people face, number 6 is busy lifestyle, time constraints. Of course, nowadays everything is more hectic. Things seemed a bit simpler back then. Your parents used to have time for everything for the most part, but now you are being an adult, you're going into the adult life, and it seems like you don't have time to do anything. You have work, you have school, you have side hustle. Everybody nowadays seem to be juggling a lot, or for most people, for the most part, seem to be juggling a lot. Yeah, who now work 2 jobs, have online business, them a do side hustle. I mean, because times is hard, you have to be doing more work or more sources of income to ensure that you can stay afloat. So quality time often takes a backseat, leading to emotional distance. So you're trying to start a relationship with somebody, you message them today, or tomorrow, them time you get back a response. That doesn't sound like a healthy relationship, and that's going to be a big issue later down in the relationship. You call in the person, you can't get them, you can't get a call back 2 days later. Hey, me see you call me. That can't work in any healthy relationship. So because everybody is caught up in a busy lifestyle and with all the time constraints, it's a hurdle for them to have successful relationships. But people, there are ways to make it happen, and there are ways to improve your communication skills and ways to improve your time management as well. All right? So, people, let me give you a quick recap before we go to the break. So we did 6 of the top 10 hurdles that you are faced with in relationships for 2025. Number 1, poor communication. Number 2, trust issues. Number 3, unrealistic expectation. Number 4, I apologize there. Number 4, commitment phobia. Number 5, lack of emotional availability. And number 6, busy lifestyle and time constraints. So you see, people, relationship nowadays is, a lot more to factor in. But don't worry. It's possible, and it's usually a good idea to pay attention to these areas where, relationships are having issues, and you and your partner can talk together and work your way around them. Yeah? That's how you know that you're in the relationship with somebody who is willing and interested in keeping it going. So we'll be right back after the break. Don't go anywhere. Fantastic Friday continues as we discuss the biggest hurdles for relationships in 2025.